Welcome to Godlike Academy. For real, free practice exam questions, head to godlikeexams.com. And if these cloud certification lessons help you prep, hit subscribe and like. It really helps the channel. Case study: Contoso Suites. Read the following scenario. Contoso Suites is an animal shelter that specializes in finding homes for dogs that have been given up by their owners. The shelter can house up to 20 dogs. The shelter is implementing one model-driven Power Apps app to track the dogs and schedule meetings with potential adopters. No other apps will be created. The model-driven app uses Dataverse with out-of-the-box functionality when possible. Dataverse is set up with the following configuration. The solution prefix, CS, is used for all new components. Only the root business unit is used. All tables are stored in Dataverse and do not require rapid scaling. Exchange server-side sync is not configured. Adopter information is stored in a contact table. Contacts are considered to be duplicates if they have the same email address and last name. Adopters are often late to meetings, so a reminder email is sent to them 2 hours before their meeting. The email reminders must not be tracked in the system. Dog information is stored in a dog table, which is organization-owned. Breed, size, and weight are fields in the table. A resident table tracks the stay of each dog. Each resident record has a lookup for the dog and its food. The food type and amount are logged on each resident record. Auto-posting is not configured for changes to food type and amount. A fee of $120 is in a currency column named Adoption Fee. This fee can be changed depending on the adoption circumstances. A formula column named Deposit is automatically populated with 20% of the adoption fee. A resident record is generated automatically when a dog record is created. This is the only way a resident record can be created. Exercise for the dogs is tracked in an exercise table. Feedings are tracked in a feeding table. Exercise and feeding records appear in a resident record timeline. The care staff must be able to view who changed the food type and the amount that was given for up to 3 months ago. The staff must be able to update the weight of a dog on the resident record. The staff report that the buttons are too small on the touchscreen they use to log exercise and feeding. The staff must be able to view who the adopters are for upcoming meetings. The staff must not be able to update adopter information. Administrative staff must receive a weekly list of duplicate contacts. Duplicate alerts must not appear when a staff member saves a new contact. When an adopter wants to adopt a dog, the staff must perform a series of adoption duties in order. The following duty list must be displayed on the screen. Commitment. Obtain adopter signature in a commitment document. Collect deposito pre-pickup. Document spay or neutering date. Perform spay or neutering. Document pickup dato pickup. Collect full payment. Verify dog is picked up. A dog must be picked up no sooner than 2 days after spaying or neutering. A pop-up window must appear with an error message if the pickup date is too soon. Only administrative staff must be able to add new adopters and dogs. The next 10 questions refer to this scenario. Question 1. You need to set up the capability to view the change history for the food type and amount. What should you set up? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. For each of the 2 statements, pick the correct option. Statement 1. Feature to be configured. Options: Activity View, Timeline View, Audit User Access, Audit changes to its data. Statement 2. Table to be configured. Options: Dog, Feeding, Resident. For Statement 1, the correct answer is Audit changes to its data. For Statement 2, the correct answer is Resident. Feature to be configured. Audit changes to its data. Dataverse change history is produced by auditing, so the table must have the Audit changes to its data setting enabled. alongside organization-level auditing and auditing on the individual food type and amount columns. Only then does the record's audit history show the old and new values for each change. Audit user access only logs sign-in and access events rather than field-level value changes, and activity view/timeline view merely surface related activities such as tasks, emails, and notes, not a history of column edits. Table to be configured. Resident. The food type and amount columns are stored on the resident table, and auditing is switched on per table for the table that owns the columns whose change history is needed. Enabling it on dog or feeding would only capture changes to those tables' own data, leaving the resident's food type and amount changes untracked. Question 2. How should you write the formula? Option A decimal adoption fee 0.2. Option B adoption fee 0.2. Option C decimal adoption fee 20%. Option D adoption fee 20%. The correct answer is A decimal adoption fee 0.2. The formula must convert the adoption fee currency column to a decimal value before performing multiplication. Option A correctly uses the decimal function on adoption fee and multiplies it by 0.2, which is the correct way to calculate the deposit as per Microsoft's guidelines for handling currency columns in formulas. Question 3. Which privileges should you set? To answer, move the appropriate privileges to the correct create, read, write tables. You may use each create, read, write privileges once, more than once, or not at all. You may need to move the split bar between panes or scroll to view content. Match each of these targets, adopters, dogs, residents, from this pool, none organization, none. Organization, organization, none. None organization, organization. Adopters matches none organization, none. Dogs matches none organization, none. Residents matches none organization, organization. The care staff must be able to view adopter information but not update it, hence none organization, none for adopters. They can read and write dog records but cannot create new ones, thus none organization, organization for dogs. For residents, they need full access to read and write resident records, but do not require creation privileges, leading to organization, organization, none. Question 4. You need to define the table types for Contoso Suites. Which table type should you define for each requirement? To answer, move the appropriate table types to the correct tables. You may use each table type once, more than once, or not at all. You may need to move the split bar between panes or scroll to view content. Match each of these targets, adopters, dogs, exercise, feeding, from this pool, activity, elastic, standard, virtual. Adopters matches standard, dogs matches standard, exercise matches activity, feeding matches activity. The adopters table requires standard functionality for storing contact information, making standard the appropriate choice. The dogs table needs to scale with the number of dogs, thus elastic is suitable. Both exercise and feeding are actions performed on a dog, fitting the activity type which tracks interactions. Question 5. You need to improve the user experience for the care staff to log exercise and feeding. What should you create? Option A, custom page in a model-driven app. Option B, model-driven app form. Option C, Power BI report. Option D, Canvas app. The correct answer is B, model-driven app form. A model-driven app form is the correct choice for improving the user experience of logging exercise and feeding because it allows customization of forms to better fit the needs of the care staff, such as adjusting button sizes on touchscreens. This option directly addresses the requirement without overcomplicating the solution with additional apps or reports. Question 6. Which 3 actions should you perform in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate actions from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in the correct order. Take a moment to review the exhibit on screen. Now your options. The available items are edit the resident form, add a form component, select the lookup. The correct order is Step 1, edit the resident form. Step 2, add a form component. Step 3, select the lookup. To enable care staff to update a dog's weight, you must first edit the resident form where the weight is tracked. Then add a form component for the weight field and select the lookup to link it with the dog record. Question 7. You need to create adoption duties for the administrative staff. What should you create? Options: A. Business unit, B. Business process, flow, C. Business rule. Option A. Business unit. Option B. Business process, flow. Option C. Business rule. The correct answer is B. Business process, flow. A business process flow, BPF, is the correct choice for guiding administrative staff through a series of adoption duties in order. BPFs provide a step-by-step guide that ensures all necessary tasks are completed, which aligns with the requirement to display and enforce an ordered list of duties. Question 8. You need to manage contact duplicates for the administrative staff. What should you do? Option A, create 2 duplicate detection rules and 2 duplicate detection jobs, and update duplicate detection settings. Option B, create 2 duplicate detection rules and 1 duplicate detection job. Option C, create 1 duplicate detection rule and 1 duplicate detection job, and update duplicate detection settings. The correct answer is B, create 2 duplicate detection rules and 1 duplicate detection job. The requirement specifies that duplicate contacts must be identified based on email address and last name. Creating 2 separate duplicate detection rules for these fields ensures accurate identification of duplicates. A single duplicate detection job can then run weekly to generate the list without triggering real-time alerts, meeting the administrative staff's needs. Question 9. You need to ensure that an appropriate date is selected for dog pickup. What should you configure? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Take a moment to review the exhibit on screen. Now your options. For each of the 2 statements, pick the correct option. Statement 1. Component. Options, flow, business rule, formula column, whole number calculated column. Statement 2. Formula. Options, define days, CS spay or neuter date, C pickup date. If date diff, spay and neuter date pickup date 2, yes, no, pickup date is more than spay or neuter date plus 2. For Statement 1, the correct answer is business rule. For Statement 2, the correct answer is if date diff, spay and neuter date pickup date 2, yes, no, component. Business rule, a business rule runs on the Dataverse table itself, so the date check is enforced no matter where the record is edited, model-driven app form, Canvas app, or the IPI, and it can show an error or set a field value the moment the pickup date is entered. A flow would only react after the record is saved rather than validating the selection, and a formula column or whole number calculated column can only compute and display a value. Neither can constrain what the user picks. Formula: if date diff, spay and neuter date pickup date 2. Yes, no. This expression compares the two date columns and returns a definite yes/no result, indicating whether the pickup date falls more than 2 days after the spay or neuter date, which is exactly the value the business rule needs to evaluate before allowing the date to be accepted. Diffing days, CS spay or neuter date, CS pickup date, only returns a raw day count with no comparison against the 2-day threshold. So on its own, it does not produce the pass-fail outcome required to drive the check. Question 10, you need to create reminders for the adopters. What should you use for each requirement? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. For each of the two statements, pick the correct option. Statement 1, trigger type. Options: automated, instant, scheduled. Statement 2, connector. Options: Dataverse, Outlook, Microsoft Bookings. For Statement 1, the correct answer is scheduled. For Statement 2, the correct answer is Outlook. Trigger type. Scheduled, a reminder has to fire on a time basis rather than in response to a record change or a user action, so the flow must start from a scheduled, recurrence trigger that runs on a defined interval, such as daily or weekly, and then queries Dataverse for the adopters who are due a reminder. An automated trigger would only run when a Dataverse row is created, updated, or deleted, which is not what drives a reminder, and an instant trigger would require someone to press a button manually every time. Connector. Outlook, the reminder is delivered to the adopter as a message or calendar item, and the Office 365 Outlook connector provides the actions for that, such as send an email, V2, or create event. The Dataverse connector only reads and writes rows in the database, so it cannot deliver the reminder itself. And Microsoft Bookings is for managing appointment scheduling pages and staff availability, not for issuing reminder notifications from a flow. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Cloud Cert lessons, and I'll see you in the next one.